Bhavna and you're watching India Today. I'm very happy today to be joined by Sanjeeda, who has given a terrific performance in Fighter. And knowing her personally, I know she kind of embodies that title in real life as well. So I am damn happy. So here I am presenting Sanjeeda. Firstly, a huge welcome. How are
Thank you.
you?
I'm really good. I love the way you talk. And I love the way you introduce the actors.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. But it's been a long time, honestly. I remember we had the last we spoke was on a Zoom chat.
Pandemic chaga
And
tha na?
yeah, and just watching you on screen was a surreal moment for me because I've seen your journey ever since I saw you on television to now. And it's been so good, Sanjida. Firstly, tell me, I know you are garnering a lot of good response for the kind of like performance you have delivered. So much talking through your eyes, just your eyes, and I was mesmerized when I saw you on screen. But what is it? Where do you look for feedback? Because you have been used to praise also, like a lot, right? But where do you filter your comments now? Because there's so much noise already on social media. What has stayed with you? Let's talk about that.
So I personally feel, Bhavna, that appreciation is the greatest form of prayer. And
Yeah.
also, as you mentioned, that the journey from TV to films, it's taken a little too long, but
Yeah.
I think everything has its time. Everything has its own destiny.
Of course.
And everything fell into the place at the right time for me. And I'm glad Fighter happened to me at the right time because
Yeah.
I was shooting for Heeramandi.
Yeah.
And I was getting trained under Sanjay sir every day on the set. So I think that is also one of the reasons I performed pretty well in the film.
I mean, you were always a great performer. Let's also admit that because I've seen your performances before as
Okay.
well. But we can agree that you've matured so much
Yeah.
on screen as well. The way, I mean, there are scenes in Fighter where you're just speaking through your eyes, and those are very important moments in the film. And there's a scene, especially for me, one of my favorite scenes is with you and Hrithik, right? And where you just go and there's this silent moment that is being shared. And I saw that Hrithik praised you for that and you responded to it. But how does it feel when you have actors, co-actors who are sort of supporting and reciprocating the same energy that you have on set? And also, can you take me through that scene? Because I feel that it was a very important scene for you as well.
So to begin with that scene, when I was called for Fighter, Mamta Anand called me, and Mamta ma'am told me that I have a very substantial role for you in Fighter. It's opposite Karan Singh Grover. And I said, ma'am, don't say anything on the phone. I will come meet you and then you narrate me whatever it is and let's see how it goes.
Correct.
I went for the narration and the first scene what they narrated to me was this scene which was between Patty and Sachi. And I'm like, okay, Patty is Hrithik and I'll be performing with him. You know how it is.
Yeah.
And they narrated the scene to me. And you know, in actor's life, there has to be this one moment which can change many things. I'm not saying it can change overnight,
Absolutely.
but I feel that people have started taking me seriously as an actor. Today here we are talking about performance. And I think it means so much to me, Bhavna, because it's been a journey. And I really wanted people to appreciate my work, people to talk about how I perform, how I emote. And yes, I also feel that, you know, a best lead actor is the best supporting actor.
That's such a
Yes,
wonderful thing to say.
it is very true because Hrithik Roshan, when he walks in the set, it's only about how he has to spend the day with his character, how he has to emote in the scene.
Yeah.
And more to that, he also will make sure that as a co-actor, what he can offer. And he's so honest, he's so supportive, he's so generous.
Yeah.
And I personally feel that it's his expertise and his craft and his knowledge about acting which has helped me to perform better. So as you said, between Sachi and Patty, that scene we didn't rehearse.
I was just coming to
Yeah.
that. Did you rehearse?
No, we
or-
didn't rehearse. Siddharth Anand,
Yeah.
Siddharth sir told us that this is the scene. He said, Sachi, you don't have to speak, but you have to do wonders with your eyes.
Yeah.
And Hrithik sir had to utter some lines and I had to emote. So
Yeah, he's promising you basically.
yes,
that-
yes.
Yeah.
And I think Siddharth sir also creates an atmosphere on set in such a way that it empowers you to perform your best.
Yeah.
So there were many things which were unsaid between Sachi and Patty,
Yeah.
but still understood. And the moment Hrithik sir started his lines with his wavering voice, I literally had a lump in my throat. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to cry in the scene. I will just react to Hrithik Roshan in the scene, and that's what happened. We just
So
went.
organic,
It
yeah.
was so organic, but I think best scenes come out like that. You don't
Yeah.
have to act.
Yeah.
You just
You have to
you just
surrender,
have to
I feel,
surrender to
yeah.
your co-actor,
Yeah.
and if you have an actor like him, you have no choice but to just be, and give 100% to the scene. So, Bhavna, uh, as we are shooting, okay, we are connecting more with the characters. We are connecting more with the process of that film.
Correct.
So, you just have to surrender yourself to the character, and you have to give in to your co-actors. For me, more than the emotional scene, which comes in the second half of the film, where I just had to react
More so, yeah.
more so, and
Yeah.
I just had to be in the moment and trust the process. For me, what actually was difficult to be more chilled out.
Oh.
Yeah, because I wanted to look very effortless in those scenes, because we've also come from TV. So somewhere you have to keep the measure of your acting so
Correct.
correct that it should not go over the board,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you're working with Deepika Padukone, you're working with Hrithik Roshan, who are so subtle in their performances that you don't want to copy anyone, but you want to be your own.
Correct.
You have to have your own way of doing it. And for me, the most difficult scene was the scene which was the scene with Deepika.
Huh.
Also because we were shooting at 6 in the morning, so I was like, but Deepika was in like full form, so I was like, dude, if she can be like so energetic, I have to like. So the scene was in the kitchen where I'm.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to
yes.
speak about
Yes.
more about the scene
I
because
know,
there are
I
still
know.
people watching.
And
Have
it's
to
a
watch
very
the film.
important scene. I mean,
Yes.
it's kind of a giveaway. Yeah.
Yes,
I get
so
what you're saying.
so that scene was kind of difficult for me. But then you have Deepika, and you just look into her eyes and say it effortlessly.
And also, I feel like, if you had to gauge your own performances, I feel that you are the best judge, right? And you mentioned that you feel that you've matured so much as an actor. But in what ways, if I may ask? Because right now you worked and you're working with two directors who can really change the way you look at cinema in general. They can be a textbook example of certain things, right? I want to know, how has that changed your experience of being an actor on set?
Um, See, they are the actors. I think they are. I'm sorry. They are the directors. Uh, I somewhere feel that I'm shooting for Hira. I was shooting for
Yeah.
Heeramandi, and Sanjay sir connects you with yourself on a deeper level. So I'm more aware of myself as an actor. I'm more aware of myself as a person.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it definitely, it sir actually does that. आप खुद को बेहतर तरीके से जान पाते हो. So when you know yourself, then you know your emotions very well.
Correct.
I know what I'm feeling right now. I know how to be in the moment. I know how to hold my vision.
Correct.
And all these factors, I think, were missing in my life before as an actor and as a human being. So working with makers like Siddharth Anand and Sanjeela Bhansali has taught me to be myself, and I'm more aware of how I am as a person, and they're also making me a better performer.
I mean, definitely for sure. But like you said, that while you were shooting for Fighter, you were also simultaneously shooting for Heeramandi, right? Both the directors have a very different way of
Yeah.
working. I mean,
Yeah.
we have all heard about Bhansali sir's vision and how he is on a set versus how Siddharth Anand is on a set. Also, the world is very different. I mean, it is very different from each other. So to switch on and off between those two characters can also be equally difficult for you. How did you manage that? Or were there days where you were like, oh my god, right now I'm not my character in Heeramandi, so I have to be Sanchi, and then vice versa?
So this has been with me since the day one when I started acting, that I switch on, switch off as an actor. I'm not an actor who will be in a certain mood if I have to portray a certain emotion for like the longest time. Like if I have to cry, I'm not going to think of me as an actor who's going to be in that emotional mood for the
Okay.
day. I switch on, switch off. The moment you tell me action, I become the character. Cut, I become Sanjeeda. And I think I'm enjoying that right now. It's working for me. And then when you have makers, such big makers who are watching, like I don't see my shots. I don't see my shots. Like whenever,
Yeah,
if you know,
yeah.
if you give a good shot, you want to see as a performer. I don't. I just give in to my directors. I'm like, if you all are happy, I'm happy, because they are watching. They are
Yeah,
so
you
so
surrender
good.
to their vision
They're so
completely.
good
Yeah.
at their work.
Yeah,
If they
yeah.
don't like something, they are there to tell me and they are there to guide me.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go and check the monitor. Maybe I'm lazy also.
No, I think a lot of actors have this process where they trust the director, and that is what you have to. Eventually, they know what they want, and as long
Absolutely.
as you are delivering, they'll correct you if you go
Yeah,
wrong.
so coming back to your question, that's what you asked me, that it was difficult for me to be Sachi and playing a character in Heeramandi. It was not difficult for me because this is how I enjoy my process of acting. I become the character when I'm on set. Otherwise,
But
you.
was it always like this, or with time? Because you start off, and correct me if I'm wrong, you started off as a very raw, you learned everything on set. So, is this something that you picked up with years of experience, or was this the case since the beginning that you could switch on and off?
I think this is how I'm as a person. So I also feel that whatever character you do in cinema, uh, it's a part of you in the character, and that's why I think it looks natural when you're acting.
Correct, correct.
Uh, it could be a dramatic character, but a part of you is always there. Your soul is always there in the character. So I don't think I've always been like that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, because I feel that
But
it's
I also feel that you meet so many actors who have that process of being in the moment.
Yeah.
And if they have to be they have to deliver a comedy scene, they'll be like funny throughout the day, or that's method acting, right? And I enjoy watching a performer like that also,
yeah.
because somewhere I feel that they go through so much of process and they work so hard to be in that character, and I'm like, wow, this is also fun to just, because I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So just to observe somebody doing that, uh, maybe I learn something from that.
Yeah, yeah. And anyway, I feel cinema is a learning ground. If how much ever experience you have, you're always going to keep learning something new on every different set, right? And if I may ask, that is one takeaway if you had from Fighter, like after shooting, if there's one thing or one lesson that you've learned post shooting that film, what is that one thing if you could pick and tell me?
I think I'm actually very grateful that I've got the chance to work with the biggest superstars of our country. And we've spoken about how they perform, and I'm nobody to talk here about how they perform because they are what they are,
Yeah.
and everyone is aware of that. What I've learned from them, the bigger the actor you are, or the bigger the superstar you are, the more humble you become. They are such humble people on set. It's like you don't feel that you're talking to them and they are the superstars. They are so grounded, they are so humble, they are so honest, they are so kind-hearted.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they are so strong with their work ethic.
Yeah.
They have strong work ethic. It's like Deepika Padukone comes on the set and she's so easy breezy. She has no air about being Deepika Padukone. And I'm like, wow, it's very attractive for me to see that.
Yeah.
And I think being humble is something which one can learn from them.
Sanjita, I know that. I mean, you were always humble from whatever I can remember actually. Because if you've seen the peak on television, of course, then you decided that you want to take a detour because, of course, all our ambitions changes eventually, right? But that also meant that you were okay starting from scratch at a certain point. I know it is not easy, and you have people telling you for your own good, perhaps, that you are doing great. Why do you want to do this? But you know what you want. There was also a pandemic in between where future perhaps seemed blurred. I want to know what kept you going or what kept that conviction on, because I know this industry tests that a lot more than anything else.
I think my own validation matters to me the most. And I'm the person who likes to be surrounded with the right energy. And I want people around me. Of course, there are people who don't like me, there are people who like me. And but I want to be surrounded with people who talk good about me and who motivate me
Yeah.
instead of demotivating me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't want to get affected. I want to take that demotivation also in the utmost positive
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
and not show them, but just keep doing my work. And that's what is happening. I think I'm trusting my journey, and
Yeah.
I'm holding my vision so strong, and my focus is not blur anymore.
That's
Yeah.
the best answer.
I,
Yeah.
I think my focus is very clear now,
Yeah.
Bhavna. I know what I want from life. I know what the life is going to give to me. And I'm so blessed with whatever I have on my platter right now. And it's full.
Yeah. And I hope that it keeps,
Inshallah.
it will always be full.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
I'm also an actor. Also on TV, what happens, Bhavna? You do so many characters and you work with so many people. You work in so many shows. And every character becomes a new character after every
Yeah.
show. And people are even, like, I remember I had just finished my show Ek Hasina Thi on Star Plus, and it was like hardly 2 months, and people are like, "Arey, अब कौन से show में आओगे? अब काम नहीं कर रहे हो?" I'm like, "It's only been 2 months, guys.
True.
You know, give me a little break."
Yeah,
So on
yeah.
TV that happens
Yeah.
because they see, they forget, but believe me, I miss my TV days.
You do?
I do.
We
I
miss
do.
you on TV
I
also.
do, I do because it's been such a beautiful journey,
Yeah.
and I've kept working all these years non-stop
Yeah.
with great people, with great producers and great actors on TV, and I think I've learned something from each one of them.
Yeah.
So it's great actually. Today I'm sitting here and giving interview for Fighter.
Actually, I just feel that I feel proud to see your journey, because I know that it's not been easy for you. I mean, at any corner, because we have spoken back then also. I just want to know, how do you keep going when, like you said, that you don't seek validation from anyone else? Again, when did that shift happen? Because in this industry, at least you start off with, you want people to like what you're doing. You want people to like you in the beginning, because हम तो ये industry यही सोच के आते हैं कि it is where you have to sort of socialize and have more, because that
Yeah.
is how you grow.
Yeah.
Now, how do you survive in an industry like that when you are not that person who would just do things for the heck of it? You want to be real, and you have always been real. And surviving in this industry while being yourself, I know, is very, very difficult. How do you do that?
So I think I think I've become that person where I have understood the difference in my professional life and in my personal life. I'm not that person anymore who wants to put everything on social media and
Yeah.
be everywhere. I'm not that person who will call like paps. Sometimes I might, but I'm not that person. I have done all of that before.
Yeah.
I have done, and I've enjoyed that.
Yeah.
This is the phase right now where I'm like,
You want different things. Now.
yeah, I'm like, I rather focus on my work.
Yeah.
I rather have genuine conversations with people about my work.
Yeah.
And it's great to see people who are interested in talking to me,
Yeah.
rather than calling them and telling कि हमको interview देना है, आ जाओ हमारे पास. It's I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And probably it works for other people, but this is how I am, and this is what I've become, and I'm enjoying this.
And great. I mean, you're doing
Yeah,
great,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
But tell me also, I want to now ask about Heeramandi, because this is a set where you have such, not just the director, but also the cast is such a great cast. And I feel an all-woman cast, actually, this is the most exciting thing for me, actually. I'm looking forward to it. But what was the energy like on set? Because I know you can't speak a lot right
Yes.
now about Heeramandi, but just a bit about what was the energy like on set every day when you were shooting? Because I know it's a lot of fun, but also very hectic.
So with when I remember each day when I've entered Heeramandi set, it felt like a dream, really, because you're like looking here and there, you're like,
Yeah.
wow, matlab I'm shooting here,
Yeah.
I'm on this set, and then you have Sanjay Leela Bhansali in front of you. So you're enamored by everything around you. And coming back to the co-actors, everyone is different here.
Yeah.
Everyone. We have Manisha ma'am who's different.
Yeah.
We've seen her craft of work, and we've seen the kind of actor what she is.
Absolutely,
Aditi is different. Sonakshi is different.
Yeah.
And Sharmin is different. Richa is different. So I think just to look at them and to observe them, you learn something from them. In like even
Yeah.
just like just looking at them. So the energy has been great, and during the process of shooting, we've not interacted with each other so much because we were so engrossed and we
Yeah.
were so like into the scene and everyone wanted to give their best. But when we were just ending the show, we all became very close.
Yeah,
You know, it
yeah.
always happens like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because then the burden is little less and you are more relaxed. Now you know that you're in the character.
Yes.
हो जाएगा, अच्छे से हो जाएगा. So it's been great, and I really want to see that. You know, I really am waiting for people to watch Heeramandi actually.
Because the first glimpse that recently released, honestly, I was enamored by the visuals, the cinematography, just the first visuals that we got of all of you. I was just like, oh my god, okay, it took a while, but this is why it took a while, because it's all worth it. I mean, those visuals are crazy good, and I cannot wait for the world to see what you have done in the show as well, because I just know it's going to be spectacular. Because Fighter is a sort of testimony to the fact that you have always been a star in your own right. And let's hope that this keeps going further for you, Sanjida. Thank you so much, really. I hope that you keep getting amazing work even in future.